Hello, everyone. Good evening there. How are you? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you drop something in the chat there? You're welcome to the Chevening Scholarship Roundtable 2025. It's a much anticipated event, and we have been on and on about it. And finally, we are here. My name is Melody Adetunji, and I am your co-host today. I am Product Marketing Associate at TechCloud Africa, and we are hosting this Chevening Scholarship Roundtable tonight. We want you to know that you're in for an amazing time, so stay tuned. A quick one, apologies that we kept you waiting a little bit. We just had to sort out one or two things before going live. So thank you, and thank you for joining in. Okay, right about now, we're going to do something. We're going to do an activity, and we will drop a link. We'll drop a link in the chat, and we want to know how you're feeling. How are you feeling about this, the Chevening Scholarship? How do you feel about it? Just help me with the link. Please hold. Okay. Can you see the link? Okay. Omojola Fumi says, good, I'm excited. Hi there, winner. Hi there, winner. Good to hear from you. Okay, the link. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. There's the link. Please click on it. Click on it, and let's answer the quiz. Okay, Tofumi, you can see it. Great. That's good. That's good. Winner, what about you? Okay. Just click on it and you to direct you to Mentimeter. You can put in your comment and we're going to see it on the screen. So everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're in for a great time tonight. The Chevening Scholarship Roundtable, and we have some amazing people in the house, amazing guests. They are Chevening scholars. They are people that have worked this, been there, done that. So when we're talking about um, um, strategy and insights, you're meeting people that have done it, that have practiced it, and can give you the the insights you need, to ace your application. Okay. Can we see the screen for the Mentimeter? Is it showing? Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. I can see I can see your comments. Someone says, okay. Hmm. Can you zoom in? Uh, okay. 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 And someone wrote here, I'm excited. I feel very excited about it. I'm excited and nervous. It's my first time hearing of it, and I look forward to participating. I'm yet to apply, but after this session, I believe I will be prepared. Yeah, that's good. I'm feeling excited, hoping to build on how to go about getting to the next stage, and I hope to get it this year. We hope you can get it this year, and that's the reason why we're doing this. I'm so excited about this program, and I look forward to being a beneficiary of this scholarship. We want you, we desire this so much for you, and that is why we are here. Please keep dropping this. Let's know how you feel. It does good to to express how you feel, to put it out there. It brings some clarity, and we want you to know that before the end of this meeting, you would really be clear on how you need to go about your scholarship application. Okay, right about now, let's go into what we have for today. Right? I want to confirm that our guests are in the house. Yes, yes, yes. I can see the profitable lawyer Osita James is in the house. If you can see him, can you just put some emojis in the chat to show how happy and excited you are to have him here? He's called the profitable lawyer, and I'm going to read his bio. I'm going to read his profile very soon. And I want to confirm, yes, I can see that I have the lady Rakna Gautam in the house too. Please, can you help me celebrate her? Celebrate her by saying you're welcome. Welcome, and we're happy to have you here. We are happy to have you here. Like I said, and let me introduce myself again for those that don't know who I am. My name is Melody, and I am the co-host for this meeting. I am the product marketing associate at Tech Cloud Africa. I'm not the host. I will be introducing the host very soon. So, because we have a lot to do, we really have a lot to cover tonight. I'm going to go straight into the introduction. So, now I want to introduce our speakers for tonight. What do you guys think? Who should go first? Should we do ladies first? Should we do the profitable lawyer first? Let me hear your response in the comments. The more the responses will determine whose bio I'm reading first. Let's go. I can't see. Ladies first. Okay. Okay. Someone says the Q screen. Ladies first. Ladies first. Ladies first. Okay. That's cool. I love this. Respect for ladies. So we're going to go with the ladies. And we're starting with the lady, Rakna. Meet our guest, Rakna Gautam. Permit me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, please. Rakna is a legal researcher who has worked extensively with the Supreme Court of India on judicial reform and case management. Between 2023 and 2025, she contributed to two major initiatives, which include Project SC Judicare and Unclogging the Docket, which collectively facilitated the clearance of nearly 4,500 long pending cases across domains such as PILs, PMLA, criminal law, land acquisition, and task. Uh, Her work involved formulating policy recommendations, analyzing judicial precedents, and identifying trends that improved case management efficiency. Now, at the Supreme Court Center for Research and Planning, she co-authored key publications including Legal Aid Through Law Schools, which is a report on the working of legal aid clinics in India, and unclogging the docket. Now, Drawing on her background in litigation and social reform, she has supported judges by preparing briefs, drafting opinions, and assisting in speeches. Her contributions reflect a strong commitment to judicial efficiency, access to justice, and impactful legal reform at India's highest court. Rakna is proof that Chevening scholars don't just earn degrees, they create change. And she is here with us live to be sharing insights and winning tips for you to win your Chevening scholarship application. Are you excited? Okay. Okay, so let's quickly put it in the comments how excited you are about that, and let's move on to the profitable lawyer. Osita James is known as a profitable lawyer, and he is redefining what it means to be both a lawyer and an entrepreneur in Africa's tech space. As a partner at Blackrest Law, he has guided startups through investment deals worth over $25 million. Did you hear that? I said $25 million, not naira. Okay. Blending deep legal expertise with entrepreneurial insights, holding an MSc in innovation management and entrepreneurship from Nottingham Business School, Osita's work sits at the intersection of law, business, and innovation. He is also the founder of The Profitable Lawyer. This is a platform that empowers African law firms to scale profitably, and he is a passionate educator who teaches startup law at Laval Academy while delivering transformative programs for lawyers across the continent. We have in the house with us tonight the profitable lawyer himself, Osita James. Can I hear it for him in the comments there? And right about now, oh, I'm so excited because I get to hand over very soon. I need to introduce this person. He's a very wonderful person to me. He's my boss. He's my friend. He's like a mentor, and he's our host. His name is Nathaniel Ike. Nathaniel Ike is the founder of TechCloud Africa. TechCloud Africa is the host of this webinar. So let me tell you a little about TechCloud Africa. TechCloud Africa is a media and tech innovation company dedicated to showcasing Africa's boldest innovations to the world. Think about that. We'll come back to that later. About Nathaniel. He is the founder of TechCloud Africa, like I said, and he has been honored as a 2 times Forbes Africa 30 under 30 nominee, recognized among the top 50 African tech voices, and is a recipient of the Nigerian Association of Computing Society Honorary Award. He has gotten an ACE icon of tech media innovation and digital advocacy. He has also been celebrated as one of the 100 most notable peace icons of Africa. He is an author. He has written over 3 books and more still coming. Watch out. He's the host of Tech Free podcast and currently leads an NGO driving social impact. Join me as I welcome your hosts, our hosts for the Chevening Scholarship Roundtable, Nathaniel Ike. Can I hear it in the comments for him? Oh, I hand over.
All right. Melody, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Good evening, everyone. If you're joining from Nigeria, it's pretty much a good time to be here. I'm sure everyone is pretty excited about what we're about to do tonight. We've been anticipating this event for a very long time, and I'm sure we're having this finally. And it's a good time to have this session. So thank you for joining, everyone. Osita, thank you for joining. Rational, thank you for joining as well. I just hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you, everyone. I can see the comments and keep it coming. Pretty much, let's get started. So I'm pretty much sure everyone Yeah, potential Chevening scholars. Yeah, potential Chevening scholars because trust me, after this section, you pretty much have a clear direction on what to do or how to go about the application in case you've not started. And for some persons that have started, probably you would be able to define what you already have and you'll be able to do come up with something much more better than you currently have. And you have a clear direction, trust me, I assure you that. So I'll be telling you a bit about the children's scholarship. You know, for some persons, they pretty much don't know what the scholarship is about. I think they just know it's a scholarship, and maybe they don't even know the requirements, what they're expected to do. You know, it's not uh, the regular kind of scholarship where you get to apply regularly. Like pretty much, the children has some requirement that they expect from every applicant. These are the things that they're expecting from everywhere that they eventually shortlist for the scholarship. And for the very first phase, the first phase is the application phase. You get to apply, and if you get lucky, and being lucky is not coincidental, sometimes it's intentional. So you have to be intentional about it. However, what we're doing here is to get you prepared for the process so that you be ready and prepared. And definitely you do the right thing, and of course, uh, you will definitely give them what you have because uh, of course, they're expecting a lot of things from you as well, and that's why we want to break some of those things down so that you can pretty much. Can you hear me? I just want to be sure. Someone is saying that my voice is low. Oh, sister, can you hear me? Someone said my voice is low.
I can hear you, but there's some sound in the background too. But we can hear you. So, but that sound like it's a bit noisy. Okay.
Is it better now?
Yes, better.
All right, so it's pretty much a great time to be here. I will just go straight right away. And yeah, so most persons, I'm sure they pretty much don't know what Chevening is about. Most persons on this call are probably hearing Chevening for the first time. And we have a community we created. We've been sharing a lot of informations there. And some persons are probably busy and they probably have not had the time to go through what is involved and what they probably need to know about the scholarship or how the whole scholarship started, what is involved and all of that. And that's what I'll be doing. So I'll just tell you a bit of what the scholarship is about. Then I'll hand over to our first speaker, which is Osita. So Children is sponsored by the UK government. It's a scholarship sponsored by the UK government. The UK government sponsors a lot of scholarships, but and Chevening is one of them. Trust me. And one thing about Chevening is that it's actually a very great scholarship. It's distinguishes some outstanding individuals in different spaces, and trust me, gives them the platform to do more, and they get to even stand greater chance of succeeding in whatever they're doing. And that's why it's actually very, very competitive. The great thing is you pretty much have access to a lot of things, and you get to have access to a very large network. Children has a community of over 160 from over 160 countries. Yeah, and you pretty much leverage on this to do whatever you're currently doing, or probably what you are planning to do. But trust me, they have things they look out for. They have criteria that they look out for, and these are things that are very, very significant, and you just cannot overlook them. So first of all, is that before you can apply for this scholarship, you need to know that what they need is they need you to be an outstanding individual. So they don't accept people based on the fact that they lack funding and they are suffering from a very poor background. That's not enough for you to get into Chevening. So they need more. They need you to be outstanding. You need to demonstrate certain qualities, such as being a leader and demonstrate so many things which we'll be talking about, such as having that leadership traits and qualities, and of course having that ability to also build your network. And of course you have instances of where you've demonstrated all of this, and this will help, give you, it will give you a very great shot, and of course you would, uh, your chances of getting in would increase if you can meet all of this. So, but then this year is special. It's special in such a way that they introduced a lot of things that were not in place before. There were things that they were not really paying attention to before, such as the work experience. Right now, you can't just apply for Chevening unless you have at least 2 years work experience, and that's after you've graduated from the university. So your year of experience while you are in school won't count for this year's application. And these are some of the things that we're trying to highlight. So in case you uh, you are trying to figure out if you are eligible, these are some of the things you should look out for. You need to know that you need to have at least 2 years worth of experience after graduation, not while you are in school. It's a great thing that you built experience while you are in school, but they will only count the experience you've been able to accumulate after graduation. And also, while you're applying, they need people that can articulate, examples of their leadership and influencing skills, or they need you to talk about those instances of you being a leader, how you've influenced people over the years. It could be anywhere. It could be by volunteering. Yes, it could be by volunteering. So it's not compulsory that you have to be a CEO. It's not compulsory that you have to be a founder. You could be a volunteer. Trust me, leadership can be done anywhere, at any level. You could be uh, the least person in an organization and you are exhibiting leadership qualities. And trust me, you are a leader, you're a potential leader, you can do great things. So don't think that you have to be a CEO or you have to be the head of a department before you can be eligible for this. Trust me, if you have demonstrated leadership quality in any capacity, you are you've actually ticked that box. And another thing they're looking out for is that they need to talk about instances and not you talking about your skills. It's a great thing that you have leadership skills, but it's not the time. They're not interested in your skills because that could be generic. So they are not probably, they're interested in the instances where you've demonstrated these skills, like you've done this and this in so years, and of course they want to see dates and time and names and all of that. So our guest will talk more on that, right? I'm just trying to give you hints on what to expect. And of course, they are interested in you, being able to build relationship and network. It's something that they pretty much pay attention to. Like you need to be someone who can connect easily and get something from networking with people. And trust me, if you can do this, you're a potential candidate for Chevening. That's because you have access to a global network of over 160 countries. And of course, they won't teach you what to do. If you are someone who is already used to networking, it won't be a struggle for you, and you can definitely do that very fast. So I will just move to the next slide. I'm sorry if I'm spending a lot of time. I'm just trying to be. So I've said this before. If you are on this call and you're not from Nigeria, trust me, you can visit Chevening website to see the list of countries eligible to apply. It's not just Nigeria; it's for over 160 countries. So Chevening is in partnership with these countries, and trust me, I already mentioned the 2 year work experience, and of course, the website is there. You can always check it out to see the list of countries eligible for what you will get. So the interesting thing is this. So if you are lucky to get in for Chevening, you'll be enjoying a lot of things. There are a lot of benefit that comes with it. You would be getting a fully sponsored, your tuition will be covered, for 1 year. It's for 1 year. So, we have some master, and it's for people trying to go for their master's program. So, of course, you probably have your bachelor's degree acquired or earned by then, and you're not just applying for an undergraduate program, you're applying for a postgraduate program, and that's for master's program. And strictly, it has to be 1 year. And of course, they would cover your tuition fee for entire year. There's a cap, right? For those going for MBA, they would pay your flights to the UK, economy flights, return flight to the UK. They would also give you, money for your living expenses. And of course, for people going for the MBA program, you definitely have a cap, which is £22,000. And yeah, the next slide. And one thing you should know is that there are a lot of opportunities that come to it. getting to Chevening. So it's beyond just getting a master's degree from the UK, you get to connect to a global network. Yes, a global network because Chile has a very large network, over 60,000, alumni from around the world. And you know what it means to have connection or to build relationship with people from this network. It's a very massive thing. And trust me, people that do great things in life, they don't do it alone. They do that with by building quality relationship. And of course, getting to children would give you the room to build that quality, relationship that you need. And for this year, the timeline for application changed. It used to be 3 months for the first phase, which is the essay writing submission. But for this year, it was shortened to 2 months. So you don't have that luxury of extending your first the application writing and the essay writing for 3 months. It's now 2 months. So that's something that they changed. And of course, the essay writing for each of the essays that you'll be writing has been reduced from 500 words to 300 words. So I will, yeah, I've mentioned all of this, and then I will hand over to my first speaker to just take it up. And yeah, let me introduce Osita. And Osita has a slide which I'll be sharing. And yeah, so my co-host has already introduced Osita, but I think I'll do that again. Osita is a great guy, the Chevening Scholar 2022. I think I'm correct. And he's done great things over the years. He has a law firm. I'm just trying to paraphrase. He has a law firm in Nigeria doing great stuff, advising startups, and he has helped them, close investment deals worth over $20 million. He holds an LLB from University of Nigeria. He's a Chevening Scholar, studied innovation management and entrepreneurship from Nottingham Business School. Is a Mastercard funded diploma scholar from, and he studied technology and entrepreneurship from Nigerian University of Technology and Management. And trust me, he has done amazing stuff. He has won several awards, several scholarships. Yeah, he has actually won several scholarships. He's been doing great things over the years, and I will just hand over to Sita. So, Sita, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me
Oh,
clearly?
yeah, I can, I can.
Okay, awesome. Hi guys, really nice to be here. Um, it's always a very good opportunity whenever I get a chance to talk about my experience because I'm really hoping that it inspires someone out there to pursue their dreams. I actually think that that Melody is being modest when she read Rakna's profile. So I happen to know that India is they have one of the most advanced Supreme Courts in the world. They are literally one of the only countries that recognize a right to a safe environment, which equates to a climate change right. It's only India that does that. So when she says she worked in India and they are Supreme Court, then she's actually doing very amazing work because they come up with like precedents that other countries, including Western countries, actually follow. So I just wanted to point that out. But Nathan, please, next slide. Let's move. I don't think we have a lot of time. Nathan, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, is it possible for you to allow me to upload the slide so that it's easier for me to share from my end?
Uh,
Okay, just one
can
second,
you do
guys.
that? Can you do that from your end?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, okay.
Hi, Rakna. Did you hear my comments on what you guys do at the Supreme Court?
Okay. So I'm sorry I missed you. I went to have the drink. Am I audible enough to everyone?
Yes, yes, you are. Nathan,
Okay.
please add the slide, please.
Slide of what?
Oh, I prepared a slide for my presentation,
Okay.
so I wanted him to
Okay.
add the
Okay.
slide. All right, thank you. So this is a snapshot of my educational experience. So that is me smiling, holding my diploma from Nottingham Trent Business School. And that's me collecting my diploma from Nigerian University of Technology and Management. And that was me in Toulouse Business School in France. I went there for summer school. It was part of the program. So I applied for a touring scholarship when I got to the UK. So I got to travel to France for summer school. So this is just to tell you that some of you can have the opportunity to also get to travel to other countries as well when you get the Chevening Scholarship. And that's me at DePaul University making a presentation to the Red Cross on a consultancy project. So most schools in the UK have like an international element in their courses. So be sure to check when you're trying to apply whether the course you want to apply for has an international element, because the course I applied for, they have a collaboration with DePaul University. So they take their students to the US for like 2 weeks for that program, right? So that's why I went to Chicago to DePaul University as part of my coursework. I hope that's helpful. So why Chevening, right? Nathaniel has spent a lot of time explaining the different aspects of Chevening, what kind of people they're looking for, and some of the things that have changed. But I want to dig into why you should even think of applying for Chevening in the first place. What type of candidate do you have to be in order to be able to apply successfully for the Chevening scholarship? Melody, please, if I'm not audible, please let me know. Please, if I'm not audible. So there are several things that comprise the type of candidates that Chevening is looking for. So I've put this list together from my experience applying as well as my experience engaging with other previous scholars. So what I can say is that there's a lot of focus on leadership. There's a very strong focus on leadership. Every single Chevening scholar I have met are all heavily focused on leadership, very, very heavily focused on leadership. Then there's also a significant focus on networking. What kind of networking skills do you have? Are you the type of person that is influential? And that's, of course, why you have the networking essay. There's an opportunity for you to show them that you are the type of candidate that is an influential individual that knows how to build and maintain relationship with other people. Then there's a strong focus on impact. Chevin expects you to travel to the UK, acquire skills from the top UK universities, and come back to your home country to create impact, right? That means that if you're someone that has already been creating impact in some other fields or some other platforms, you can actually apply for the Chevening Scholarship to make a case for how much your impact can improve if you have access to the right tools or the tools that you can gain from studying for a master's at a top UK university. Then collaboration and support. They are constantly asking questions about how you can sort of engage with the Chevening alumni community as well as engage with the community abroad by the time you travel to the UK. So you're meant to, this is also still tied to networking. So that collaborative and supportive spirit is something that you need to show as a candidate in order to stand out and make it easier for you to appeal to the potential evaluators. Then access to a community of like minds. Chevening tries to give the scholarship to people that are similar, people that are impact focused, people that have leadership. So, one of the ways to figure out how to position yourself is by looking at the profile of other people that have won the Chevening Scholarship. So that way you get a sense of these are the type of people I want to associate with. So I want to be sure that I'm sort of portraying myself in a way that shows that I am this type of person. That way, so that it is easier for them to see me as the right candidate for the scholarship. Then skill acquisition focused. One of the UK priorities is skill acquisition, where they're trying to like support youths all over their partner countries or countries that they have affiliations with to gain relevant skills, right? In Nigeria, for example, we have the British Council, we have the UK Tech Hub, and a number of initiatives that the UK is doing in Nigeria, supporting growth and development through, targeted skill acquisition. So if what you're doing is very focused to this, and what you're also saying you want to go do in the UK, which is to acquire the skills that can enable you to scale your impact. So once you're able to like really delineate this thing very clearly in your essays, I promise you your essay is going to stand out. Then the last but not the least is UK priority alignment. So the UK priorities are constantly evolving, right? So you want to be sure that the essay you're writing, as well as your interest area, is aligned with the UK priorities as you continue to try to put together a very good application to make a case for why you should be selected as a Chevening scholar. So who should apply? We've talked about why Chevening, what kind of candidate is Chevening looking for. So now we're going to talk about who should apply. People that should apply, according to hours of work experience, but now they're because they think that you after October, you've not had 2 work experience, so you're not be able to prove that you have work experience. So this is just like something that you should get if you graduated after 2023, and you have to indicate that the system might not protect you because you're not going to get if you graduate.
Hi guys. So I think Osita has a glitch, a network glitch, and he should be back in a bit. He should be back in a bit. But then I will just okay, he's back. Okay, welcome Osita.
Sorry about that, everyone. Network is not so great. Nathan, please, the slides.
What did you say?
Nathan, please, the slides, the slide.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. I think I can't find your own. Maybe I will share mine. Can I continue to navigate this slide?
It seems Osita has his network has taken him out again. Yes. Okay.
So we'll just hand over
Okay.
to is it back?
No, he's not back yet.
Okay. Rational.
I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll just hand over to you. I think Usta is having network glitches. No.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can everyone see me and listen me clearly?
Yeah, we
Please
can
give me a
see
thumbs
you.
up.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, what I would be doing now, firstly, I would be telling you what are the way in order to make a winning essays and like what can actually make you achieve the target. First thing, we have learned that you should have at least 2 years of experience in order to apply for Chevening. Before that, 2 years experiences included the experience that you got through the internship throughout your undergrad or through your volunteering. But right now, the rules are comparatively changed. Now you need to have the 2 years of experience, work experience after completing your undergrad. So this is the most important thing you need to know. The second thing, now they have certain restricted criterias and field in from which they are picking up the people, they are choosing the Chevening scholars. The field I would like to show you. So I think you might be already aware about it to some extent, but here I would like to share my screen. I think yes, I think it will work. Sh- Uh, okay, I think it's visible to you. So these are the prominent areas. Like either you should be applying for the promoting growth on prosperity. You are applying in a field which will help you build resilience in a climate vulnerable world, which will help strengthen the security and stability in a volatile world, or will support the development for more inclusive and effective societies. So now they have the restricted areas from which people would be choosing. Okay, the screen is not visible to everyone.
We can't see your slides. We are still on Osita's slides.
Okay, okay.
Maybe try
So,
again.
okay. I'll just stop sharing that. So these were the particular fields from which only you can make the application now. So now the criterias have is very much different than it used to be. Okay, so as okay, I will try again. I think. Uh, should I try sharing my skill now? Slide now. So now they have changed the criterias a lot right now, as I have told you just a few minutes before. So now they have these restricted fields from which they would be picking up the people. And your selected like three courses which you would be selecting for your third answer should come from these specific areas only, which includes the promoting growth and prosperity, building resilience in a climate vulnerable world, strengthening security and stability in a volatile world, supporting development for more inclusive and effective society. So what I'm gonna tell you that it is not merely about building a good experience and building a good, examples in life. It is about representing them also within your essays. This is the most important step. So, what I will suggest you, like, if it is possible, follow up certain what I say, a pattern or a, a formula that I have sort of, I must say, that I have created. Okay, so I think I need to just stop sharing my skill Screen. Okay. Yeah. So it is not just about getting the experience, it is about presenting that also, so that it will be able to, like, you would be able to convince the panel that yes, you hold the leadership skills. So now, how you will do that? So if I tell you that what was my winning strategy in order to excel the Chevening essay, that the first question is of leadership. So first thing, leadership doesn't have a very specific definition. It depends on you, how you will define leadership. So for me, leadership could be something else. For you, leadership could be something else. And believe me, Chevening accepts both. If you are able to convince them. So for me, like, I have a certain specific definition for leadership. So in few lines, in four, like almost in 3 4 lines, I have defined my definition of leadership. And after that, I quoted the examples which specifically justifies that definition of leadership, that I stand by them in every possible way. Now, make sure that whatever the definition of leadership you are trying to portray should come within those four particular field which they are asking for, like 4 or 5 particular field that they have mentioned this year. So just make sure that your definition of leadership should fall any of under any of them. So now here comes the most important thing. Whatever example you would be quoting, quote that in a star format. Now what that star format actually includes, you need to define a situation, then you need to tell that what task you have taken in that situation and what was the effect of that task, and then you have to tell them the result that you came up with, like, after doing this all thing. So these were the four simple steps that you need to follow in order to show your examples, to make them convinced that yes, you are a leader. So even like when it comes to the every field, I started like this way only. I have given the example which may not stand exactly on like a global platform or global criteria, but if I actually tell about me, it is an example of leadership. So what I'm telling you, that you need not to be like a big person in order to get the Chevening, but you need to convince them that yes, you are a leader, and you need to convince them that you hold that potential to do something very great. Like if I compare, I would like to portray the reasons of the explanation of the women. I'm not very much like well aware about the situation, like in particular the situation of Africa, but I know that it is a general notion that because of certain reason, biological, and how the patriarchy has worked throughout the year, women exposure to the society and the opportunities are not very much. So you can't say that what particular strategy has been used by a man, you might be having the same example also to present yourself. So at that point of time, you need to show them that from where you have started, and that is very much necessary. Take them to your journey, make them feel that what were the struggles that you had been through, and how your achievement is bigger than every another person. And this is something you can do only when you take them into your social, economical, or geographical challenges that you have come through, even the cultural challenges that you have surpassed in order to get that. So Chevening in itself is like a very big thing. Like it just gives you an opportunity to come with that personality where you can be a global leader. So a global leader should not have a one particular definition. If you have worked mind blowing for your community, and that community consists of a very limited people, you are a leader. And if you have done something mind blowing from the entire nation, you are a leader. So the leadership has not a very straight jacket strategy or a straight jacket definition. It depends entirely on you, that how you can define the leadership. Now, coming to the second question, that is related to the relationship building or your networking skills. It is a very, very important part of Chevening essay. They wanted to have a person who should have a skill of building networking and relationship as fast as possible and can bring something positive and meaningful outcome out of that relationship. So what I have said, that I have started with exactly that how relationship building or a networking skills, my networking skills actually helped me throughout my life, helped me in order to be who I am right now. So that's how I gave like what kind of relationship or networking skills do I hold, and how do I actually make relationship or networking. What are the steps that I follow? What is my strategy in order to make the networking? And then I have given them a prominent examples which justify my assertion. So these are the things, this is a way that you need to follow. There were, after the sharing the star trip, I will always suggest you to quantify your data. Like whatever you are writing, always give them numbers. Number is very necessary. Give them specific dates, like on which date you have done what. It helps them, understanding that whatever you are providing is authentic, is true to itself, and it will help them to convince also to understand like your journey. So just make sure that you write down the time frame in which you have done what, the place where you have done, and the people, the numbers that you have impacted or you have affected with your work. So this is the second and most important trip. Third, coming to why you want to go to UK. See, for the people like me who had never been out of their country, like I never moved out of India, it is important to do a very good research on it. You need to take out some time. You need to actually, ask from yourself why you are applying to this. And unless or until you do it, you can't impress them. There's one more thing that I would like to add on over here, that you need to firstly convince yourself that you deserve it. I still remember that when I was preparing for the interview. So actually, I was not expecting that I would get selected for the interview by that time. I should accept that thing. But the moment it came, like I was all surprised, I was shocked, I was excited too. And I was more than anything anxious. I felt like, would I be able to make it? Like, it's so competitive. How will I actually, stand myself out than everyone else? I remember what I have done at that point of time. I visited the Chevening website. I went through it step by step. And, whatever definition they have given of a leader, I realized that I truly stand by every of that. And after that moment, I felt that if they can't, if they didn't take me, then that their procedure is defaulted. So I'm already selected. So it's like this is something which was my level of confidence, that I was so much sure that I will go through it. I will just get it. So unless and until you convince yourself that you deserve it, you actually rule over it. Like if not you, then no one else. Unless or until you attain that level of confidence, you can't convince other that you actually deserve it. So it starts from you. Like this is something like the strategies that I'm telling you, you can definitely make through the essays. Well, I'm not actually giving a surety, but there's a high chance that you will make through the essays. But when it comes to interview, for that you need confidence. For that you need to be make yourself presentable. You need to present themselves. You need to just give them this thing, that they, that yes, I am a selected candidate. It is already inside me. Unless or until you give them the confidence, you don't make Chevening feel that it is their pleasure to take you in, you won't be able to crack it. So just one thing that I'll tell you, that focus on being a great global leader. Chevening you will get on your own. So if your focus is on this, your main, focus will always remain, should always remain on being a global leader. That if even in by any chance you won't get the Chevening, still you would be a great global leader. So this is what I believed, that chevening is something, it will come on its way. They will join you in your path. So you should have such an extreme clarity on what you are doing and how you're gonna be a great global leader. So this is what I believed. I hope I was able to convince you and tell you what was my strategy throughout the period, and it will definitely help you. And there's one more thing, I just wanted to say it, that you not need to be a very big, entrepreneur. You need not to have like a mind blowing national level or international level of work experience in order to get chevening. No, you need to just show them. You need to make sure that they follow your journey. They should know like what you had been through and how you excelled to it. Unless or until you don't tell them, you won't be able to convince. So like, I as a woman, I should say that, like, see, woman has, like, has a very prohibited space, right? So probably that we are not able to collect or gather thousands of people or the millions of people in our rallies, because this is how our conditioning has been done. We had always been subjected to patriarchy, and that follows us. So, and that impacts like us, right? Our social mobility and everything. So in that situation, probably we can't give them a proof. Does choice of school or course matter? Yes, actually it does. I'm so sorry to say that, but yes, it matters a lot. As I have told you, that this is they have like a specific field right now, and I've mentioned, I think, just few minutes before about that. And you can visit like on the Chevening website, you just go through that and you look for the common application errors, and in that you can specifically see the fields from which they would be accepting. Yeah, I think, okay, mm, I think yes. So do we have, I think no, so I'll just let me represent it. Yes, 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 the please previous slide. Okay, no, not this one, a little ahead. This one, please stay on it. uh please stay on the previous one. Yeah, please, thank you very much. So yeah, these are the four fields that are mentioned into this slide: promoting growth and prosperity, building resilience in a climate vulnerable world, strengthening security. Okay. Okay. So supporting document for more inclusive and effective societies. So these are the some fields for which only you can like apply, and you should choose your course and college from. Now, yes, coming okay, as Melody has mentioned that we'll be taking the questions after some time. So like, let's focus on what we were talking about. Coming to the fourth and the most important question is, what is your future plan? They actually wanted a person, they wanted to have a person who should have an extreme clarity about what they would be doing in future. So like, that extreme clarity is associated to can you just please remove the slide for some time? Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, what I was telling about the fourth question is associated to, what are your future career goals? Like, why I have said that, Chevening expects that you should have an extreme clarity on what do you want to do ahead or after coming from UK. So they ask you for three types of goal that you should have an extreme clarity on. First is a short term goal, the another is the like the your what I say, the middle term goal, and the third is your long term goal. And unless or until you can present something which shows that yes, you have a lot of potential. There are a lot of things that you're already planning, and whatever plan you will tell them is actually executable, then only then you can make it happen. So what I will suggest you that before applying to it, make sure be ready with whatever is your short term goal, what is your long term goal, and you should have until now done something which shows them or which tells them that you would be able to conceptualize those goals. Like those goals are actually practical, those goals will actually, are possible. So unless or until you do that, that's the most important stage. I felt very important, in particular, very like it is one of the most important thing. So when it came to me, I have given example, like I associated with whatever I have done until now, and then I have told them like what would be my short term goal, like what I would be doing within 2-3 years of coming back, and then I told them like what was my long term plan and how I have already to certain extent. Okay, am I not audible? Please give tell me.
You are audible.
Okay. So what I was telling about the long term goal, that you need to tell them, you need to give them a proper long term, it's not just a one or two statement. You need to tell them a proper roadmap that you would be following after coming back, and that roadmap should be extremely clear. It should be understandable, it should be convincing. It should not be simply like that you have put on the things and you are just making certain assertion without any ground. So or be prepared when it comes to the long term question, be prepared with a proper road map. I again emphasis on this, proper roadmap. Proper roadmap should tell you like in which particular year what you are planning and what after this you would be doing and how you would be doing that. Like you should have an extreme clarity on it. This is something you should give a very uh you know yes, yes, so think about it. And that is very important, that is very important. Like I just tell you that if you can't convince them on your future goal, like okay, so they can't see a potential, a leader, leadership potential in you. It's very simple. Like why will they invest in you if you can't give them a proper future goal that you would be doing, like the impact that you would be creating. So you should have an extreme clarity on what you would be doing, and always create a roadmap. Roadmap should be like in this way, that in this I will come back within 2 years, I will do it. And I will start stepping stones, I will start, yeah, putting stepping stones for my future long term goal. And then after these 5 years, I would be doing this, I will, start working in this thing. I will try to convince these people, and I will take them and I will build up something which I can promise that. And you need to tell them that how that particular thing that you are trying to build up will actually work, will actually stand by after those 10 years. So I can't give you exact concrete example that I have followed, but I can give you like this much, that you need to give time to that. And it is very essential. Think about it, give yourself time. And like you should be, you need to, like, you need to be extreme clear about that you actually wanted to do it. If you are trying to fake it around or you are just making a false assertion, it will not help. Unless or until you actually wanted to do something which falls within these criterias, it, okay, like this these dimensions that we have mentioned, the four fields. If your long term goal does not stand by the fields that they have mentioned, I'm afraid that the selection criteria is a bit changed. So just make sure, and believe me, the field that they have mentioned are very exhaustive. Like there are a lot of things which can get included into it, so they are not very restricted field. Don't panic, don't get anxious, because now they have the defined fields. If you actually look through them, there are a lot of things which you can include within every of those criteria or field. Like as much I can think about almost every course, every future plan which like a leader can anticipate about can fall into these criterias. Just you need to convince them with that, like how it falls under that. So yes, handling over to, like, I will entertain questions. I think I would like to handle over to Osita. He would be telling his own journey and his own strategy now about it.
All right, Osita, over to you. Your mic is muted.
Okay, I was saying thanks a lot, Rakna. That was actually very exhaustive. Thank you. So I'm going to like focus on the ACs because Rakna has actually explained all the other bits that I was going to touch on, right? That's the updates, things that have changed. So I'll just move to the leadership AC. So what I've tried to do is to use my own AC as a practical example for how you could write a good leadership AC when you're trying to apply for the Chevening Scholarship, right? So if you're looking at the screen, you can see that how I started was by defining what leadership means to me. Now, again, you can decide to start in any manner that you choose. You don't have to start by defining what leadership means to you, right? But so many people have started by defining what leadership means to them, and it has worked for them. And the guide that I created, that's the Chevening Scholarship application guide that I created, has helped 7 people successfully apply, right? So this is the guide and the format that they've been following, but you can follow any format that you choose. But this was how I wrote mine. So I said that in 2018, I got a job offer to go to stay in Lagos and work. So back then in 2018, when I was going for service, the job offer was going to pay me around the equivalent of, I think, around 175,000. I think either that or 180. So that was in 2018 when the naira, that's naira currency, was still significantly stronger. So that was like a big deal of money for someone that just starting out from NYSC and so on. And I chose to go to Jigawa where I was posted. Now, the reason why I brought that example was because I wanted to write about what leadership means to me, sacrifice, and a commitment to the right values. So I needed to bring an instance where I had to make a difficult decision because I wanted to stay committed to the right values. Now, some of you may feel that, I mean, I probably worked my own posting, so what are you talking about, and so on. I'm not here to debate the morality of what I did, right? But according to the NYSC Act, which is the law that establishes the agency, there are only 2 reasons that you can redeploy. The first one is if you're married and you're redeploying for the purpose of staying closer to your spouse. And the second reason is if you're sick and you're redeploying to be closer to the doctor that is attending to your ailment. So those are the only 2 reasons. So if you are redeploying for any other reason outside of those 2 reasons, they are unlawful and, of course, not the right thing to do. So I use it as an example of a sacrifice because I had a job offer. I could have just redeployed and stayed and did the big job and enjoyed myself, but I chose to go where I was posted because I wanted to stay committed to the right values. I hope that's a bit clear. So I use the STAR approach in writing a leadership essay. So there are different methods of writing leadership essay, right? But the STAR approach is the one that I use. So STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So some people go ahead to also add lessons. That's the lessons that they learned, that they gained from the actions that they took, right? So you can extend it further. Remember that you only have 300 words this year. So you need to make sure that you're maximizing every single word because we had 500 words, but you're going to have 300 words, right? So this was how I did it. So I started by choosing 3 leadership examples. But because I had 500 words, I was able to exhaustively write 3 leadership examples. But because you have 300 words, it's likely that you should choose two. But if you're choosing two, make sure that they're very strong examples that can really make you stand out as the right type of candidate that Chevening should be considering for the scholarship, right? So the situation for me in the first leadership example was that before I went to Jigawa for NYSC, while I was still an undergraduate, I was the president of a literary club where I was supporting people, mentoring people that were writing and publishing, right? So I realized that a lot of the prizes that were open to undergraduates, that they had expensive reading fees. Some of them had reading fees as expensive as 3,000 naira back, like way back 2016. Now, 3,000 naira was a lot of money at the time, and a lot of students couldn't afford it, so they were not applying for the reading for the writing literary prizes because the reading fees were expensive. So I decided to create a literary prize to support undergraduates, right? So I created the Okiki Prize for Literature to support undergraduates. So if you follow it carefully, you see there was a situation. The task at hand was to figure out like how to create something that could support these people that were underserved, right? Then the action I took was engaging some stakeholders in the community, who had published and traveled all over the place as a result of their literary work. And I invited them as judges of the maiden prize. I also then, of course, I started the literary prize called Yokike Prize for Literature. And here's the kicker. If you type Yokike Prize for Literature right now on Google, you will see a lot of things because I tried to partner with Publicia and they pushed it through Publish Drive, and then it appeared on Barnes and Noble, it appeared on Amazon Books, it appeared on Google Books, it appeared everywhere, right? So the anthology that I put together from the works of all the authors that publish, I was able to push it to different places to give them more spotlight, right? So that's like a thing that helps when you mention something, that someone is able to go online to verify what you mentioned. That's also something very useful, right? If you've mentioned something, ensure that it's something that they can verify. Now, in the age of AI, if you're lying about anything, it's very easy to find out because the AI can just run through your essay and cross-check if there's anything online that could relate to what you're saying, right? So let's bear that in mind. Just like Rakna was saying, do not lie in your essays. Very, very important not to lie in your essays. So what did it read? What was the result that this led to? Remember, we talked about the situation, the task at hand. We talked about the action that I took, which was engaging with stakeholders to create the prize, right? And the result was that it led to over 480 submissions from 30 universities in the first edition alone. Now, again, you may not have done something that you engaged, undergraduates at a national level. Maybe you didn't do something like that, but there's likely something that you did that supported other people. Yes, it's important to mention numbers, quantify your impact, but also know that quality even matters more than the numbers. If there were a group of women, widows that you were supporting that didn't have children that were well-to-do, that were supporting them. Okay, I think something happened to the internet, but I'll just go ahead. Okay, we're back. So if, for example, they didn't have people that were supporting them, one of the things that you can do is to, talk about what you did, assuming that you were the one that supported them. Even if it was just 5 people, right? If because of the support that you gave them, they now have a means of livelihood, that will go on to impact their children as well as some of their closer needs, some of their closer family members, right? So what you end up seeing is that the impact in just those 5 people's lives has translated to like 30 to 50 other lives that were associated with them, right? So it's also about the quality. If you don't have things that you've done that affected a lot of people, try and talk about the things that you've done that affected some people, but really transformed their lives. I talked about how I was selected as part of the NHEF Scholars in 2017. Then I mentioned the MacArthur Foundation because they are the co-sponsors of the NHAF Foundation Scholarship. Now, the reason why I mentioned is because the MacArthur grant is like one of the most competitive grants in the whole world. It's given to people that are doing things that are mind-blowing, like genius level type of effort and so on. So as a result of that, the people reading the essay may not know what the Nigerian Higher Education Foundation is about, but there's almost an 80% chance that they know what the MacArthur Foundation is about. So by explaining that what I was part of was affiliated with a known brand, it makes it easier for them to understand the context of the leadership recognition that I got. This is very important. You get, because some of us gloss over a lot of things. You've gotten a course that was sponsored by maybe Ford Foundation or MasterCard Foundation, and you don't mention it. You're actually supposed to say it because they may not know anything about the course or the implication of the course. But if you say that it was funded by any of those recognized brands or names, then suddenly it provides more context into the kind of recognition that you got, right? So that's just something important that I decided that it was important that I should tell you. So pro tip, don't just say that don't say that your project impacted people, like quantify your results. Say how many people it impacted, right? And if it didn't impact so many people, talk about the few people that it impacted and in what ways it impacted them. And please do not lie in your essays. Do not lie in your essays. The second example that I used in my essay, so remember the STAR approach: situation, task, action, and result. So during my national youth service in Jigawa, I noticed that children were struggling to read and write. Right, this was a problem that I identified. So situation and task, right? So I found out that they couldn't read and write. Task at hand was to figure out how to help them improve. So the action I took was to come up with an idea to build a library to support them to improve their reading skills. Then I involved other core members that I met during camp. Now, I had already started talking about my networking ability, even from my leadership essay. So I met them during camp. So there was not enough time for me to have really built that kind of relationship, but I was able to do a project with them. Why I'm emphasizing this is that sometimes it's in the things that you don't expressly say. You're meant to show that you're a leader. You're not meant to tell them that I am a great leader because I know. You show them that you're a great leader because you met people. It's probably not been up to 3 months and you're already doing project with those people. Do you get? So that means that you quickly engage with people, you build relationships, and you start coordinating with them towards positive social change. I did not come together with them to host a party. I did not come together with them to plan Owambe or activity. I came together with them to figure out how to build a library to support children. So I didn't need to tell them that I was a leader. I showed them that I was a leader. I really hope that someone is paying attention because I get this question a lot. How do I show them that I'm a leader? You show them that you're a leader by the things that you've done, writing about your experience, your leadership experience. So we wrote to publishers and different organizations to try to get books for the libraries, and we were able to get 7,000 books. I traveled to Lagos, I traveled to Bauchi, I traveled to Kano. I didn't start writing all that. Again, there are a lot of things that you probably did to achieve what you achieved. But because you have very limited word count, like just 300 words, you don't have enough time to start trying to write every single thing that happened, right? So you can summarize it. You can summarize it. I just said I wrote to Farafina, Parachia, and Roving Heights. I wrote to more than 50 publishers, but these are just some of the ones I chose to highlight. I really hope that somebody's following. You don't have to say everything. You can summarize because you don't have a lot of words, right? The word count is very limited. And what did it lead to? I established libraries in 8 communities. I completed my NYSC. That's before I completed my NYSC. Then the state's NYSC board gave me an award of merit in recognition for my contribution. So that was like a state award, like NYSC state award, right? So it's more like you're saying the impact that it led to, and you're also saying like that the community appreciated what you did. So me talking about the award was to show them that the community appreciated what I did. And again, there's a principle called the Matthews effect. What it's about is that people tend to want to give things or allocate more things to people that already have, as opposed to people that do not have. And what informs this principle is actually confirmation bias in psychology, where because something has happened, people now also want to confirm so that they don't look like they are different from other people that have confirmed that that thing is legitimate. So if you've been given awards by other institutions, even if they are local institutions, the tendency is to assume that because it's not everybody that followed that program that was given an award, that you're exceptional. So it's easier for them to also feel that you're exceptional. But if you don't have anything like that, it is more difficult for them to feel that you're exceptional. Now, this does not mean that someone that doesn't have any scholarship before or any award before cannot apply. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that if you already have, it is easier. That's what I am saying. People that are very influential leaders that are applying for the Chevening Scholarship, 8 out of 10 times, like 80% of the time, they've already been recognized by other bodies. If Mr. Nathaniel ends up getting the Chevening Scholarship next year, he's been nominated by Forbes twice. So it won't be a surprise. It will not be a surprise. So that's what I'm talking about. It won't be a surprise. People that have gone on, they were best graduating, they did this, they did that, they got awards from different communities for supporting, youth engagement and so on. It won't be a surprise if they also get the Chevening Scholarship. It will not, because it follows the Matthews effect. People that have are always likely to get more than people that do not have. So you're better off in trying to position yourself to win the scholarship by trying first to add some feathers to your cap, because it makes it easier for them to feel that you're the type of person that will go on to do great things in your home country and in the international community. So pro tip, mentioning names of people that you worked with, it gives your essay an air of credibility. The more names you mention, it makes you feel real. So it's not like something that you're fabricating. Because again, some of the times, the people that you mention, they're also notable figures that can be found online. So if you say that you did XYZ with this person, if they are using AI can quickly check this person that this person claimed to do a project with. Has the person done any project before? And AI will just check Google. And if Google can find it, that's a plus for you, right? Because it shows that you actually mentioned someone that it has seen has that kind of profile that is likely to have done such a project. Guess what? There were 3 of us that did the library project. I won Chevening in 2022, and my colleague that also did the library project with me, she won Chevening Scholarship in 2024. Is it a surprise? It's not a surprise. That's what I'm trying to explain. The same project. She wrote the essay with the same project, and she still got selected. So it doesn't matter if you have a colleague that you also did the project with. It's even possible that the 2 of you can write the essay in the same year and both get selected in the same year. It's actually very possible. So please do not, I'm emphasizing it again, do not lie in your essays. It's very easy to use AI to detect if you're lying. Please do not lie in your essays. Leadership example number 3. I'm trying to run through it very quickly because I know we're running out of time. So during my NYSC, I also noticed that some core members were not taking steps to position themselves for internships, right? So then I thought of a way to help them. So this is a situation, they could not position themselves for one reason or the other. And then the task at hand, I was thinking of how can I create something that can help these people? So what action did I take? I co-founded Flourish Consult. That was my first company. It was a writing and consulting company that was supposed to support people in writing CVs, supporting them with trying to figure out applications and so on. And then what did it result in? I successfully helped 200 NYSC members that I supported during that period to get jobs and internships in Nigeria, because I reviewed their CVs, I reviewed the application letters, I reviewed their cover letters, I reviewed a lot of things. So in doing that, I supported them and they got jobs, they got internships. One of them even got a scholarship in South Africa review their essays, and she got a scholarship to go study an LLM in international trade law, right? And again, the reason why these things are so important, why Rakna was also saying that you should not lie in your essays, is because when you've written these essays and you're now selected to come for the interview, you're meant to defend what you have written. If you did not do it, you will lose. You will just go there and they will just reject you. But if you are telling the truth, it will flow naturally. They can see from the way you're talking about it that you're the one that did these things. They can see that you're the one that did these things. They know you're not lying about it. Because it's only someone that has done it that understands and can really explain the challenges that they really faced while they were carrying out that project. So let's bear that in mind. It doesn't stop at the essay. Once you've written the essay successfully, they will still invite you to come to defend your essays in an interview. So let's bear that in mind. They will still invite you to come and defend your essays. So ensure that you only write things that you can defend. That's just how I'm going to put it. So this was how I concluded the essay. After I talked about all the different leadership examples, I talked about how I pivoted to EduTech, from what I was trying to do with Flourish Consult. Then I talked about what I called EdTech, Flourish Opportunities Network, which is the platform that partnered with TechCloud to put this session together. So to scale the solution, so I was saying how I got selected for a fully funded scholarship to study technology and management that was co-funded by the MasterCard Foundation. So the reason why I mentioned it was so that they would know that it's as a result of the pivoting to figure out how I could scale what I was doing, that I then got the other scholarship to further study it, to figure out how I could implement it. And again, don't get me wrong, when I came for the interview, they asked me, after this program, what have I been doing with the knowledge that I got from the program? They're going to ask you, so in case you're saying that you're already doing another master's, so you want to go for another master. So the question is, why are you not using the knowledge you gained from this current master's to implement positive social change? So you need to defend that, right? I talked about how we have started building the platform, how we had already started gathering data. We had I think around 5,000 scholarships in our database, and how we're trying to figure out the more efficient way to do that, and how I felt the master's program would help me do that, right? So I concluded by saying that I'm passionate about innovation and improving processes, that I want to create access for growth opportunity for millions of Africans, right? And then I concluded by saying that I think that this makes me a good candidate for the Chevening Scholarship. Now that's my own leadership essay. Now your own leadership essay will be different from my own because we're two different people and we have two different experiences. But the important thing is that at every point in time that you're trying to address an issue, that you're actually thinking about from the perspective of the person that is evaluating your essay. If you were an evaluator, would you select yourself? That is the test for whether your essay is good or not. If you're an evaluator and you've seen over 50 to 100 brilliant essays, would you select yourself? It's a question that you should be posing to yourself. Would you select yourself? If you were to choose out of other exceptional candidates, would you believe that you're the best candidate to come for the interview to defend what you're saying? Again, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself, but you also need to put in something that is competitive. You need to put in an application that is competitive. Like I said, everybody has not won a previous scholarship. Everybody has not done something that affected undergraduates on a national level. That's the truth. Everybody has not done that. But the things that you have done, how are you communicating those things? Are you communicating it in a way that is impactful? Are you communicating it in a way that shows that you're the kind of leader that if you're given the opportunity to study in the UK, that you would double and triple your current impact? That you're the kind of leader that knows how to engage and collaborate with people to create things that impact lives? That you're the kind of leader that is constantly trying to figure out how to improve things? Look at the entire leadership essay that I just described. First, it was what I did while I was on an NYSC core member. Then I talked about when I was an undergraduate. Then I talked about when I had finished my NYSC. So there was a track record of leadership all the way from my undergraduate level up until when I was done with studies. Does your leadership essay show a track record of leadership? Does your current experience show a track record of leadership? Does it show the kind of person that, if given more opportunities, will continue in the same trajectory? If it currently doesn't, you need to go back and do some work so that you can align your narrative, so that when they are going through your essay, you would look like the type of candidate they are looking for. So we need to bear that in mind. Try as much as possible to highlight awards that are given to you by official bodies. Even if the award was not directly given by the official body, it might have been funded by the official body. So let's say, for example, that the award that you got to study, say, product management, was co-funded by the Mastercard Foundation or the Ford Foundation, or you are part of a community that was doing something to support the Red Cross in your country. So these are relevant things to mention because those organizations are known. They are known. The Okeko Okafor Foundation in Nigeria, nobody knows them. But if they are affiliated with a known international foundation, when you write about it in your essay, it will resonate. Because it's only people that are doing exceptional work that those foundations allow to associate with them. So that's how to think about it. It's only people doing exceptional work that those foundations allow to associate with them. So if you have associated with them by way of maybe a course that you took or a volunteering work that you did or something like that, then it gives a bit of credibility to your profile as a candidate. It gives a bit of credibility. So it really helps. It really helps. I just want us to bear that in mind. So there are some exercises. This is the first one. I want you to write down 3 leadership examples you plan to include in your essay, in your leadership essay. So attempt to use bullet points to structure these leadership examples into the STAR framework. I'm going to repeat what the STAR framework means. S stands for situation. T stands for task, the task at hand. A stands for action, the action that you took, like in trying to solve the problem, the situation, right? And then the result is what came out of the action that you took. You can take it a step further by writing the lessons that you learned, right? But the STAR framework is a situation, that's the problem that came up, the task at hand, what you had to do to solve the problem, the action that's the action that you took, what you actually did about the problem to try solving it, and then what that your action resulted in. So that's what the STAR framework is about. So every single person that is watching this video, I actually want you to write down 3 leadership examples. It doesn't have to be long. It's just something that can help you as you start writing your essay. Because people keep reaching out to me, they keep sending messages. How do I start writing my essay? If you've been asking, this is how to do it. Write down 3 leadership examples. Then try to use bullet points to structure it into the STAR framework. So for the networking essay, I think Rakna has already touched this a lot. So you can use 3 networking examples, or you can use 2. But if you decide to use 2, ensure that they're very strong examples. Don't forget to mention the names of the people and organizations that you networked with, right? Still use the STAR method. You talk about the situation that came up, the task at hand, the action that you took to engage that person that you're using as your networking example, right? And then what it resulted in. In my own networking essay, I talked about working with different people to create sessions where they share their experience, support people that were trying to apply for opportunities. So we got people that have worked in top places, people that have gotten into big fellowships like the Mandela Washington, the Chevening Scholarship. We invited these guys to share their experience. And when they shared their experience, other people were able to learn from it, and it benefited them in pursuing global opportunities. So I talked about how I leverage my community in the Nigerian University of Technology to invite my colleagues that had gotten fully funded PhD offers, to come share their story, on the platform. So that's one of the networking examples I used. So you could use an example from church, you can use an example from school, you can use an example from your workplace. It all depends, right? The important thing is that you should show the impact that it led to. What did it result in when you eventually decided to engage together? It could be that you planned a summit It could be that you planned an office event, an office hangout, or it could be that you planned like a conference that was hosted by your organization, and you were able to get sponsorship. You were able to engage and coordinate and bring over 100 people to the conference. This is how to think about these things. That's how to think about it, right? Refer to the vision in your leadership essay, in the networking essay. Very, very important. Remember that the goal is you want them to be able to read your leadership, your networking, your study in the UK essay, and your career plan essay, and feel like it's the same person that wrote all the essays. You want your narrative to be continuing. You don't want your narrative to be, broken down. You don't want people to be confused about your narrative. So that's why it's important. If you've made reference to like an organization, like for me now, I talked about Flourish Opportunities Network and why I was trying to build something that could help youths get access to opportunities, millions of youths get access to education and work opportunities, right? So I still refer to it. I still refer to it in my networking essay. So that's something to sort of bear in mind. You get, ensure that you mention things that you've mentioned before so that they understand that it is still a continuing narrative. It's still a continuing narrative. So I'm going to continue. So for the school justification essay, which is the essay that you write talking about your study in the UK, the schools that you've chosen. So you're meant to explain your interest in each of the schools. Don't forget to emphasize your top choice. How to write this essay is to mention your top choice first. You can say that my top choice for studying in the UK is maybe Cambridge or Oxford or London School of Economics and Political Science. It depends, right? So you can just say that my top school is London Business School and so on and so forth. Yeah. And then you give example of how that the course content for that particular master's degree is going to support your goals. So, for example, in my own networking, in my own school justification essay, I was talking about how the modules that we're going to take in the course, modules around, business model network. They talked about value chain, was going to help me figure out how to scale what we're doing across sub-Saharan Africa. How I wanted to figure out digital operations and how the school was teaching something that could really help me. So that just shows that you're not just saying that you like the school, but you're actually actively connecting the course content to your goals. It shows that you researched the school and that you actually have a plan. So mention a fact about studying in the UK that makes the experience superior. That one is like the simplest one. The UK is like a top study destination. You can talk about how maybe that particular industry, the UK is number one or number two in the whole world, that sort of thing. Then you want to mention a professor in that university that you really love their work. You want to mention a professor. It really helps when you can do that because it just helps to show that you actually researched the university and that you understand what that professor is doing and how they can potentially help you in your journey. So for the career plan essay, which is the last but not the least, right? You need to start with an introduction, the big problem. You probably already mentioned a bit of the problem in your leadership essay, but still buttress on the problem when you start your career plan essay. Because then when you talk about the problem and then talk about your action plan, so it puts it in context. This is the big problem. For me, I was talking about how, the world, like almost 20 to 30% of the world workforce is going to come from Africa because of our growing population. Right, we're going to contribute more than 20% of global workforce by 2030. So I was talking about how even though we have like the population and capacity to change the world, the people that are going to be part of that global workforce are going to be people that are not exposed, people that don't have a lot of access to global opportunities, that are not going to have the relevant quality and standard of excellence to compete on the global talent scene. So that was how I started the career plan essay. You need to talk about how big the problem is. So that way you've put it in context. Then you can then go in to start talking about, okay, so my short-term plans are that immediately I come back to my home country, this is what I'm going to start doing. Maybe I'm going to partner with the UK Tech Hub, which is affiliated with British Council. Maybe I'm going to partner with the Ministry of Education. Maybe I'm going to partner with the Ministry of Youth and Sport. I mean, it depends. It depends on what your plan is really, right? But you need your plans to be very, very clear so that they understand clearly that you actually know what you want to do, that you're not just like randomly doing things, but you actually know what you want to do, right? Indicate the names of the potential partners that you want to work with. Don't say, I intend to work with a leader in tech. That is very vague. Don't say, I want to work with a leader in healthcare. That is very vague. Mention the name of a leader. If you even talk about them in your networking essay, that more bonus point for you, because it shows that you've already started positioning yourself to carry out these plans. Do you get? And even if you don't have access to that person yet, you can say that from your being associated with the Chevening network and all that, that you plan to, be able to meet other Chevening scholars that would likely have access to this person. And you can justify it. Chevening has over, I think, like 10 or 20, 10 to 15 heads, leaders, like presidents. Chevening has them in their network. People that have become either presidents, ministers, and so on, like top officials in government. Chevening has like a lot of them. Chevening has a lot of them. So what that just means is that you have the opportunity to argue that even if you don't have access to these people, that by being part of the Chevening network, you know that you're going to be able to connect with these people, then be able to carry out the big projects that you have in mind. So state a powerful conclusion, just like I stated a powerful conclusion at the end of my leadership essay, talking about how I have a lot of passion for innovation and processes and how I plan to create something that impacts millions of Africans. So you should also have like a powerful conclusion, talking about how when your short-term and long-term plans are concluded, millions of young Africans are going to be impacted by the kind of work that you do. So that's how to think about it and how to sort of like put yourself in that position where the person that is evaluating your essay will start to see you as a very strong candidate that can make a difference if given the opportunity. So I'm going to talk about the application timeline. I think now application ends in October. Before, it used to be November. So you don't actually have a lot of time. So you need to start working on your essay so you can submit ASAP. September is almost gone. So you should expect to hear from them around June, July 2026 if you're successful. And if you want more information on Chevening, the countries that it applies to, and so on, you can check out their website at chevening.org/applicant/timeline. So you can find it there. So last but not the least, I want to say this for the benefit of everyone here that I know has likely not applied for a master's scholarship before, or even any global competitive scholarship. I would say that you should not wait too long. I would say that you should start. Clarity actually comes from action. When you start, it increases the likelihood that you will figure it out by 80%. If you've not started, there's 100% chance that you will never figure it out. So that's something that I need you to bear in mind. Stop being too worried about, whether your essay looks good, whether it doesn't look good. Just start and you'll figure it out as you go. You need to avoid feeling like an imposter, feeling like, oh, look at Osita's profile, look at Rakna's profile, have I done anything like this in my life? Who have I impacted? I'm just here in my local community. I don't even know whether what I did in church counts. Don't feel like an imposter. Leaders are different, leaders are dynamic, and leaders exist in every sphere of society. That is the reality. Leaders exist everywhere. There are people that were part of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, and they were supporting, trying to improve curriculum for secondary school children. And they got Chevening because they were leaders in their own right. Do you get? I don't want you to feel like leadership must be in a particular direction and must have been a volunteer, must have worked with an NGO, or must have built. No, you mustn't have built you mustn't have done all of that. But you should have done your own things that have impacted lives. As long as what you have done has impacted lives, you are a leader. So write about your experience. So stop feeling like you're not good enough and stop feeling overwhelmed. It doesn't help. Just get started and ask for support and help from other people. So things that you should do: start early, right? Start early. Join a community of like-minded people, like the Tech Cloud, organized platform where people can join and engage with each other and ask questions about their Chevening application. So reflect, reflect, reflect. I spent an entire year, working on my Chevening AC because I got rejected in for the 2020 application. So after I received my rejection around February, I think January, February 2021, from that time to around November, I spent all that time like sort of working on my AC. So I eventually submitted in November, like a day before the deadline, and then I was now shortlisted the next year to come for the interview. Right, but I spent a lot of time. But now you don't have that luxury of time. So what you should really focus on is making time to reflect on your leadership. Reflect on the people that you've worked with, people that you engage, how you met them, and how you've maintained the relationship and the things that you've done together. All those type of things really make a difference. It will really make a difference in your application. Then use the FON Chevening guide. So Tech Cloud Africa will be sharing the link for anyone that is interested. So my organization, FON, actually created a guide for people that are trying to apply for the Chevening Scholarship. And like I mentioned earlier while I was taking the session, some people have used this guide to apply successfully to the scholarship. So you can check it out. And okay, we're back. So you can check it out. And of course, my essays are also in the guide, all my essays. So you can use them as a template to sort of think around how to structure your own, right? That way it will be easier for you to work on the essays as opposed to doing it just on your own. So second and final exercise, I want you to write down 3 reasons why you want to study in the UK. I want you to write down 3 reasons why you want to study in the UK and your top school choices. This is very important. The reason for that is because when you write down these reasons, by the time you're writing your essay, it's very easy. It's very easy. Your reasons should not be, oh, the school is a top school in the UK. Please, you won't be able to defend it during the interview. Only choose schools that resonate with what you're trying to do. A school might be the top school in the UK, but they don't have that exact thing that you're trying to do, or they don't have a reputation as being the best in that thing that you want to do. So personally, I feel that should be what should guide your interest in the choice of school that you make. Go and research online. Which school in the UK is the best at what I want to study? Which school in the UK is the best at development studies? I think that's the International Development Studies Center at University of Sussex, right? So which school is the best at media and communication? You can find out which school is the best at business, which school is the best at marketing. So it may surprise you what the answers will be. It may not be Oxford. That is the reality. It may not even be London Business School. It may not be Cambridge. Do you get? And what it just does is that if you've chosen that school because they are the best, you can defend it in the interview. But if you choose Oxford, why the best school in that field is in Strathclyde or is in Nottingham, so they will now say, so why didn't you choose the best school for that course? Why did you choose Oxford? That's what they will ask you during your interview, and you will not be able to defend it. So let's bear this in mind. It doesn't end at the essay. You will still go for interview. So only choose things that you can actually defend. So yeah, thank you all so much for listening. This is the FON guide I told you about. And these are the things I included. There are tips on essay writing that is also applicable to other scholarships. Someone has used the FON guide to successfully apply to a fully funded scholarship to study for a law master's in Hungary. So my 4 essays are there with their detailed analysis and breakdown, just like I broke it into situation, task, action and results. I did that for every single essay. So it's very easy to follow. So I also put together like a playlist that I used when I successfully applied. Then Chevening interview questions have guided 20 successful scholars because we put it together while we were preparing for the Chevening Scholarship. And then people that also use my guide have also successfully, gotten into the scholarship using the interview questions that were here. So you also, last but not the least, you get a free one-time essay review from me if you get the ebook. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. and I'm sure that Nathaniel would inform me so I can address them. But if you want to get the FON guide, Nathaniel will share the link on the group. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Thank you so much, Melody, for the opportunity. Melody, are you there? Melody.
Hello. Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Osita. That was amazing from start to finish. Thank you. And Rachna, it was awesome to having you. Wow. I think you've even answered most of the questions that people had. So wow. It's been an awesome time. I have put the link in the chat, the links to the book. Nat, over to you.
All right. So, Melody, you would coordinate the question, or I'll do that. But then, for anyone that wants to get Osita's book, I will be sharing the link via the chat box. Um, it's a very incredible. I used that book last year. Applied for the Chevening essay for the first time. First time. And I got in. I was at the embassy to. I did interview at the embassy. The point is, this very first stage is very competitive. At the end of the day, very few persons will make it through this phase. Out of the wholly shortlist, is it 1% or less than 2% of the entire population that get to apply? It's the reality. So you have to come with your A game. You might have the best experience, but if you don't know how to structure it properly, if you don't know how to give them what they really want, you end up not getting in, like they won't shortlist you because they have things, specific things that they look out for. That's why the star approach is there, and there's a new one called the car approach as well, which is pretty much what you can access from Oster's guide. And good thing is the guide is going to help you come up with your own essay. The interesting thing is you have your own story. So we're not saying that someone is going to help you fabricate a story. You have your personal story that you're going to, tell at the end of the day. And that's the story that you would write on. But Oster's guide will help you uh, structure your stories properly because that's what they are looking out for. That's what they want to see. They don't have time for. That's why it's very short in this time, 300 words. There is no time for a lot of stories. It's just straight to the point. They want to see what you've done. They want to see the situation, tasks, action, results. Like I said, I used that particular, guide to get my own this thing done last year. Yeah, last year, not 2 years ago, last year. And I got in, like, I was shortlisted for the interview. And that was a lot of persons will miss out from. A lot of persons would not have that chance, even though they have the best experience. They have very strong examples, but they don't know how to present it properly. They're probably telling stories that are not in line with what is needed, and that would make them miss out of so many things. So, if you can, I think Osita has a discount. Osita, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Mm, I think Osita has a discount. So, we have a community for anyone who is trying to, reach out for Osita's book and you want to join our community. So our community is still pretty much there. We have over 900 persons in our community. You can still be a part of it. And of course, you're welcome. The replay of this section would still be available for everyone to, you know, access. So you can still come back and listen to all of the things that Osta has shared. If you think you're smart enough, with the things that Osta has shared already, of course, it still works. It works. But then, this is a very competitive um, scholarship. If you are really, really desperate, you go the extra mile. This scholarship is valued more than 70 million naira, if I'm not exaggerating, that in Nigeria. It's a lot of money. And investing in your own self, it's something that works. You know, it's about being intentional. In self-investment goes a long way. And trust me, another thing is that OSITA would be able to review your essay. So you have followed this guide to come up with your own story. At the end of the day, you need to be sure if what you've written is in line. Now, you send it to OSITA, it will check it line by line and give you feedback on what you've written. Probably tell you, okay, you need to give figures here, you need to adjust here. That was what he did for me, you know. And I go in, trust me, I go in for the interview. I was at the embassy, trust me. It's not rocket science. I didn't do that because I knew it all. I followed an already laid guide and it worked. But then it's your choice, right? But then this is a very great opportunity, and it's not most persons that are going for Chevening, their life never get to remain the same. Trust me, if you really know what you're doing, your life won't remain the same. So I'm not trying to cajole you into. Of course, you know the kind of exposure you get into at the end of the day. So we'll take the question, right? We'll take the question, and for anyone who wants to join the community. So, Melody, you can coordinate the question. So you can drop your question, we'll highlight it. Osta will answer, Uchne will answer as well. And yeah, so let's do that. So please drop your question via the chat box. Melody, are you there?
Yes, I'm
So
here. There were some.
you
Thank you very
can,
much, Nathaniel. Thank you. Thank you so much, Osita, for that wonderful expose. I'll put it that way. We had a question earlier on. Someone was asking that can someone that has a second class lower apply to Chevening? Is there any rule for or against that?
Okay,
Sorry, can
so
you take that? Can you take that again?
Okay, so the question says, can someone with a second class lower tutu apply to Chevening?
So yeah, I know someone. There's actually someone very popular that has a tutu, like has a tutu in his undergrad that applies successfully to Chevening. Lanre, that's Olare Waju, the CEO of, is it the founder of this other area
an
for
airtime.
one initiative? Yeah, yeah, you know them, right? Yeah. So he has a tutu.
A or two is tutu. A
Yeah,
of
but
mother.
he
Not even
also did he
tutu.
get Chevening? I
CEO
don't
of
remember
Chiva.
that. He got Chevening. So, but I know that there are some people that have tutu that got Chevening. There are. So that shouldn't stop you from putting in your application.
All right, thank you
So,
very much. Thank you
Melody,
for
is it
answering.
possible? Sorry, is it possible that if they type the question that you can put it on the live screen? Because I don't know if the live chat will still show after the live stream is over. You get, but if it's on the screen, people that watch subsequently can still get the response to the question. You can see the question and see the response.
Okay, it was a question asked earlier on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Nath, please can you help me fix that? The next question, another question says, and the person has actually highlighted it again, says, can you apply for Chevening even if you already have a master's degree?
Yes, yes. There are a lot of people that had master's degree still got the that still got the scholarship. So yes, you can apply. Chevening doesn't have any. It doesn't exclude people they already have masters, but you must not have masters in the UK. Like you must not have gotten a masters from the UK. You get, that's the only thing. But
Okay,
if you got the
great.
masters from your home country or something, you can still apply.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you. Someone also asked, can someone with a second class lower apply to Chevening? Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you. Someone also asked, can someone with a second class lower apply to Chevening? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you. Someone also asked, can someone with a second class lower apply to Chevening? Okay, great. Thank you. Someone also asked, What if you have only impacted a few people over the years? The person wants to know if that still works, if it's still helpful to put in as being a leader.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Okay, so let me repeat myself. What if you have only impacted a few people over the years in terms of leadership? Would you still be eligible to apply to write your essay?
Yeah, you will still be eligible. I said, I think I mentioned this in during the session that there is a part where um you're meant to focus on. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're audible.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So there's a part where if you have a lot of people that you've impacted, so you can talk about the large number of people that you've impacted. But if what you have is a few people, then you can talk about how the impact has transformed their lives. Do you get? Either of them still has the same effect. Because if you worked with, let's say, a couple of children, a couple of children that were orphans, and you were mentoring and supporting them, those children can end up becoming like influential leaders in their community. And it will be because of, the amount of, you know, care and support that you give them. So it doesn't matter that there were not a lot of them. What matters at that stage is the quality of what you actually give them. That's what will matter.
Thank thank you very much. Thank you so much for the answer to that. Okay, I think we need to wrap up fast. Someone's asking, some courses have class of degree unclassified. Some courses have their class of degree unclassified. How are these
Okay.
candidates assessed for Chevening Scholarship?
So I'm guessing that the person that is asking that question is probably not a Nigerian. So their countries have their respective criteria. The criteria is not necessarily the same for every country. You get, so the major thing is that you're from a Chevening eligible country. Then when you click on your specific country, then you can now start seeing all those intricacies. Because for my country, Nigeria, our degrees are classified. If you have a 2-1, you have a 2-1, like it's classified. So I'm guessing the person asking may not be Nigerian. Melody, does that answer the question?
Yes, yes, that would suffice. Okay, we're just going to take two more, please, because of our time. Okay, the person that asked that question, that particular question says, I'm a Nigerian and an example is veterinary medicine. Our degree is not classified. So, what can this person do to get the
Oh,
Chevening?
okay. That's the okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. Also, for those type of degrees, then the criteria is different now. You just have a degree and you can upload it. You can upload it as you're applying. And it's time to when they get to the point where you have to upload your degree, you can upload your degree. So it will now be your ACs and the rest of the other documentations that they would use because they ask for work experience. So you need to write the name of the organization you are working with. Sometimes they will ask you to write maybe one line or something to explain what you are doing, and then the time frame so that they can calculate the number of hours. Yeah. I hope
Okay,
that
thank you.
clarifies. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it does.
All
Okay,
right.
and this person, Clementine, says, must you have completed your national youth service to successfully apply for Chevening Scholarship?
No, no, no. The UK government is different from the Nigerian government. So no, you mustn't. You mustn't. But remember that they were saying something about, like, if you graduated after October 2023, that you're not going to be eligible because you're likely not to have gotten 2 years work experience. So the reality is that so many people that have not finished NYSC are also people that graduated after that 2023. So unless you just left your own service, right, but you've been working, you've been probably working for over 2 years, then it doesn't matter whether you've done service or not. That's not Chevening's problem. The Nigerian government doesn't like put a condition that Chevening should only take people that have done NYSC. So you're still eligible.
Yes, thank you very much. That answers it. Very very apt. Okay, so you already answered this because someone is asking if you have not really done anything that is a leadership role, can you apply? I think I think the answer to that is clear. It's right. Okay, last one. Some Kome asks, is the interview physical or online? When it gets to the stage of the interview, that would it be physical or online?
So because of COVID and all, and you know how everybody's now adjusting to virtual reality, um I think last 2 years they allowed some people to do it virtually, but last year people actually came to do it in person. People came to do it in person last year, so chances are that they will do it physically in a lot of places, but that they might have an option for you to choose to do it virtual or physical. But please, if you ever have that option, go in person. I'm telling you from experience, go in person. I was 30 minutes late to my Chevening interview. And because the person that was the person coordinating is like empathetic, so she was like, oh, was it the traffic? Our the embassy is not very easy to find if you've not been there before. So she empathized with me. They didn't hold it against me during the interview, right? And I was able to sit down, feel relaxed, and it was like we're having a conversation. I did not feel like it was an interview. So it's difficult to build that kind of rapport virtually because body language is 66% of communication. So it's difficult to build that kind of rapport. So if you ever have the option to either go in person or to do it virtually, go in person.
All right, you heard it. It says it can be online or physical, but if you have the opportunity, please go in person. I would like to bring this to a close right now. It's been great. It's been over 2 hours of learning, of impact. You've been so inspiring, Osita. In fact, your story is so inspiring, full of impact. You know, thank you for sharing with us and thank you for answering the questions. We have the link to the book in the chat. If you scroll, you can see it, and click on it to get the book. So you have the templates on how to write your essay, and also the link to join our community so that you can continue to have information like this as you need, and support, and also the one-on-one session that Osita promised. I want to thank everyone for being here and for everyone that has stayed until this time. We really appreciate you and we are rooting for you. We are hoping for the best. Nat, I'll hand over to you now. Osita, thank you so much.
You're
Rachna,
welcome.
thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. It's pretty much a great time to have you guys. We had a lot of interesting, time with us, our guest speakers, and trust me, I I learned a lot. I'm sure a lot of you also learned so much from our guest speakers. I look forward to seeing you guys continue the conversation in our community. If you have questions, our guest is there, so he's open to answer any of your questions. So trust me. We're there to support you. We have a support group. The link is on the chat box, so you can join for free. And of course, if you need Osita's book guide, which is very much advisable, like it will guide you on how to write your essay, especially now that you need to tailor your essay to 300 words, and it's a hard thing for a lot of persons. Trust me, a lot of persons don't know how to do that. But then with Osita's guide, you'll be able to do that effortlessly. It won't take you anything. And the good thing is, when you are done crafting your essay, you can reach out to Osita. You can ask from the group, or you can even send you an email. The link is on the chat box, and I think there's a discount coupon as well. Osita, would you like to drop the code or coupon, to apply for anyone joining through this section? Osita, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I honestly don't really know how to set it up. I'm not the
Okay,
technical guy
it's some.
here,
I think
but
we'll do that, and we'll share that
we'll
on our
figure it
community.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
So
I'm not
if
really
you are in the
technical.
community, you can ask, and we'll share that with you. That's for the discount coupon to apply when you want to get his book guide. And of course, he will review your essay after you are done writing, following the guide that he has provided through the the book guide. He will tell you what before you submit, so you won't have to rush to submit. He will do that before, and then you fix that and before you submit. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this. Like I said, our support group is still there, and anyone can join. It's free. So the group link has been shared on the chat box. And thank you so much to everyone. Usta, thank you for being on this call. Rachnel, I don't know if I think she has left. Thank you to everyone for being a part of it. The replay for this section would still be
Uh,
available. But ensure you
Thank you,
subscribe.
everyone. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for inviting me. I literally enjoyed the enthusiasm that people were having. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you, everyone, for giving me
It
this
was great
opportunity.
having you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good night.
All
Bye.
right, thank you, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can access the replay anytime, any day. It's easy for you there. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This replay will be available on our YouTube for as long as you want. So thank you, and do have a great night.
Bye, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye. Not, you've not ended the meeting.